Well, to everybody in the room, welcome. We're just doing a bit of a countdown till we go live for the online event. It is live now. And am I showing on the? Am I standing in the right place? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this hybrid event today. We've got people in the room and also people online to talk about the fascinating subject of TikTok, and in particular using TikTok for brand promotion. I'll start by acknowledging the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation and pay our respects to their elders past and present. So we've got an interesting program today. We'll start off with Australia's biggest social media sensation in China, David Gulasi, who I'll introduce in a moment. And then I'll hand over to Belle Lowe, who'll introduce her business partner, who'll talk about an e-commerce platform and arrangement they have with TikTok in China. And as a bit of a case study on utilising TikTok to promote your brand and to promote sales in China. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce David Gulasi, social media sensation and 15 million followers in China, and arguably, according to Rowan Callick of The Australian, the most recognised Australian in China, which is quite incredible. So a bit about David. So David's a Turkish Australian. So he understands how to pronounce my own son's name, who is also half Turkish. And he studied computing at the University of Sydney and has had an extremely varied career that's spanned sales, Mediterranean cuisine, stand-up comedy, the list goes on. And in 2011, he made the fateful decision to go to China to teach English, and ended up quite unexpectedly in Inner Mongolia, which was a great place to really polish his Chinese. And from then he started becoming active on social media in China, and his fame spread very rapidly. So David, if I could ask you to take this the stage here and give us a bit of a presentation.
Okay, thank you. Okay guys, so yeah, it was in 2009 actually. I went to Inner Mongolia, and when I first went there, there was literally nothing. There was maybe one building in the whole city, which was pretty cool. And can you imagine a fat Turkish looking kebab man going into the middle of nowhere, and everyone started crowding around me? I felt like a superstar. It was the best. You know, I won't lie to you, that was the best feeling in the world. But it didn't last long, because then everyone came in, and then I was just like the ugly one out, because then there was dudes with abs and all that kind of stuff coming out. I was like, that's fine. By that time I had kids, so it's all good. So yeah, guys, look, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And I made today specifically about marketing on Douyin. That's my core focus. I don't want to deviate off that. I want to keep on that. So after this, if anyone has any questions about social growth, I'm more than happy to help everyone. So yeah, all right, let's jump in. So Douyin is basically TikTok in China. Well, TikTok is Douyin abroad. That's what we should call it. It's that way around. Now, it's very important. I did one of those important slides with 3 points, and I Googled them. So I Googled these 3 points. So I did one of those slides. So it looks like I made it up, but I didn't. I found it online, which is great. So 68% of internet users in China actually have this app in their phone, and that's pretty amazing. That's quite a significant number. 400 million daily active users, and that's very obvious because as an influencer in China, and I manage several influencers in China, every marketing opportunity is always Douyin first. Oh, but we have 10 million Weibo followers. We don't care. Like, they literally say, we don't care. We want Douyin. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Douyin is it's an amazing platform. It is literally the place you want to be on social media in China. The prediction is that by 2023, it's just around the corner. They think it's going to be over 500 million users in China by that time. I believe it'll exceed that easily. Why? Because unlike TikTok in the West, so TikTok in the West is used by a younger demographic, a far younger demographic. In China, my in-laws are over 60, between 60 and 70. They go crazy over Douyin. They're like flicking every day. They don't wear earphones. They get on the bus, make it really loud. I love it. You know? Yeah, if we can go next slide. Thank you. Yeah, so now this is a slide. Now, guys, I'm probably going to get hated by loads of agencies in the world for this, but I have to say it, okay? Before you advertise on this platform, you need to be aware of these points. Number one is, if you don't speak the language, you'll never know the real cost of an influencer. This is really true, because as an influencer, when I first started, I don't know, it was like 10,000 RMB or something when I had a few 100,000 followers. My clients were paying 80,000 RMB.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know. I only knew on LinkedIn 2 years later, the guy's like, oh, dude, are you still doing ads? You were too expensive. I'm like, 10 grand. Like, it's like that time is 2,000. It's not that much. What 10 grand? It's like 20. So yeah, be aware. Always have someone who speaks Mandarin, speak it yourself, or have someone that speaks it. Otherwise, you will suffer the consequences. It's not their fault. It's a foreign market. Any foreign market, it's the same thing, guys. If you want to go into the Middle Eastern market, it's the same boat. But the problem, we're talking about Douyin, which is in China, so we need to refer to China, right? Try your best to keep your marketing internally. If you cannot outsource it, it's probably the best bet. If you can keep it in-house, I would suggest do that. Do your own research, use tools. Don't just go out and say, hey, dude, I got 20 grand, what can you do for me? Go and find out what that 20 grand is worth. Google it, just find it. It's super easy. Everything's online now. There is one thing that a lot of people don't know. It's called Xingtu. Xingtu is a backend platform that manages influencers on Douyin. And basically what that is a influencer platform that belongs to Douyin for Douyin KOLs. So if you have a business license in China, such as an MCN license, which you can buy on Taobao now, if you can get one, you'll get access to that, which gives you cost pricing for all your influencers. So goodbye paying 100x on your prices. You can go, I'm telling you, I'm going to get shot after this. I'm so worried. So this tool is really easy. Now, it's really easy to burn capital in China. It is super easy, not only in China, but any foreign market, especially if you don't understand. So always know what you're doing and be super, super cautious. Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. If you can go next slide. Okay, so here is what I mean by going direct to your influencer. So real cost of a, let's call it a KOL of say 30,000 followers on Douyin will cost, hypothetically speaking, let's just say they're an expert in makeup, it may cost around 20,000 RMB. The agency will add on 40,000 RMB. Now, this is for good reason. A lot of reasons is because they're not on a retainer. So in order for them to manage these influencers, they need to pay themselves somehow. And in China, a lot of times they're not paid, and which is unfair to them. But it's also unfair to the brand because the retainer is ridiculous. And they charge retainer per influencer. I don't think it costs 40,000 to manage a 20,000 RMB influencer. I think we're all in agreement with that. And finally, the brand pays 60,000. They think it's a great deal because they convert into USD and they think, oh, great, I got a great deal out of it. Actually, you didn't. You could have, you can't scale with this kind of structure. And it's hard. Scalability is super important. And after coming out of that influencer world, I always want to educate people about this and wear a bulletproof vest because I feel like this is really important information that people need to know. And I'm kind of sick and tired of people getting, having this too much that buff price between. So always be careful when advertising on Douyin. It's easy to do it yourself. Just go to Fiverr. If you don't know anyone who speaks Chinese, go to Fiverr or Airtasker, hire someone for a day to help you. It's easy done, right? Next slide. Okay, so I love this graph. Another Google picture for you guys. Do you like it? I picked the one I like. So if you provide a sales target to an agency, they may use it initially so the money you pay them, what they will do is they'll say, we're going to reach an X amount of sales in this period of time. But what they do is really smart. They take your money, then they buy your product. And then they basically tell you, I reached my target, here's my next contract for 12 months. Bob's your uncle. So, well, my uncle's name is Bilal, but that's a long story. Now, the thing is, you have to avoid that by having things in your contract to protect yourself from that. Now, don't get me wrong, that's a great thing. You get immediate revenue, but are they going to repeat it? No. The only reason why they do that is so that you can give them more work and put them on a much bigger retainer. And later on, they'll say, well, I started really well. It went down from there. That's not my fault. Now, you want to avoid that completely. And I've been there and I've seen that. I'm completely against this. I hate this because I like to see things happen organically. When I first started as an influencer, one of the products I was working with was Macadamia Australia. They had a product that was too expensive. It was too premium, and they tried to hit the Inner Mongolia market. Did they listen to me? No. Did I take their money? Yes. Did I warn them? Yes. Did I put myself on a sales target? No. That's the truth, right? And they paid me 10,000 Aussie to hire 3 other influencers along with myself, which I made about 2.5, 3 grand out of that, because I made 2 videos from that, and the rest was, were the sales okay? Yes. Could I have used the capital and bought their own product and then BS them later? Sure, I could have done it. Did I do it? No, I won't do that, because you've got to have some type of line. If you cross that, you're never coming back. That's my thought. So in order to filter out agencies, do this, make sure you set KPIs that are real and based on your competitors, and find a way to find out who your competitors are, and always do your research. This is really important, guys. Next one. Okay, so success for Douyin, it's very simple. There's 4 steps. One is check. So for example, you want to market something. Let's say this can apply to 2 things. This could apply to both marketing in China or self-growth in China. It could be both. It could be you want to develop yourself as an influencer, or you want to develop yourself as a brand. This applies to both. Number 1, always know who your market is. Always know the demographic. It's super, super important. Know who your followers are, or who you want to target. Because based on that, you're going to choose your influencers. Based on that, you're going to choose your separate time slots. And based on that, you're going to change your strategy. Have Chinese employees to help or speak Mandarin. I can't say this enough. People don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong, a bunch of Aussies can go and be successful, but they can't do it on their own. You need someone here, there, or anywhere. You need a Chinese person, a Chinese team. Don't always outsource everything to an agency, because that fails. I see that model failing all the time. You can't scale another agency. They're going to scale. You're not going to scale. And that's not good for you. That's bad for business. One of my favorite brands is Pharmacare. Pharmacare has a girl named Erin. She's like one of my favorite Shanghainese people in Australia. And she's really smart. She's set up a massive marketing team inside Pharmacare. And that is an amazing brand. They're good products, they've got good marketing strategy, and everything is in-house. I look at them as like the perfect case study. I think if anyone wants to be successful in China, Pharmacare is like the case study you should go look at and kind of replicate their growth. And also hashtags are super important. Along with the title, hashtags are key. If you don't know what hashtags are, just type hash and a lot of different tags will come up. If you don't speak Mandarin, just pick the ones with the biggest numbers and the middle numbers. So don't always pick the ones with the billion, pick the ones in the million, because they still have room to grow. And bigger isn't always better. So that means that when you're using influencers, it doesn't always mean that you're going to have big influencers and you're going to have more conversion. Sometimes my sales conversions are lower than someone with 5,000. That's called a KOC, with a much higher conversion rate. I've got millions, but that doesn't mean necessarily. One of my friends named Puppy Zhang, we made a lot of acquisitions together in China. We invested in a few projects together, and Puppy Zhang always told me something. She feels that even now at her level, she probably couldn't sell more than those who are just having a few 100,000 followers, because it's not about size. It's about like what I mentioned here, 16,000 followers. You could probably sell more than someone with 1 million. So that's real. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope it helped. And next slide. I think there's a bit of, yeah, there you go. My new business is all about cryptocurrency, so ignore that. That's all I'm concentrating on recently. But anyway, thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much, David. That was some great tips for how to make the most of TikTok. Now, we might, if David's going to be available for a little bit later, we might have some questions and answers from the audience. But meanwhile, I'd like to call Belle Lowe to the stage. She's just going to give a bit of an introduction to her business partner in China, who is doing some very interesting things dealing with TikTok. So if you could just come and stand over here, Belle, that would be good.
Hello, everyone. I'm a lawyer of this law firm, Eakin McCaffrey Cox. So I'm a partner of the law firm. So first of all, on behalf of the partners, we welcome everybody come to our office, and we're very privileged to host the last event, the last ACBC event of the year. So thanks for coming, and say hi to everybody online. The next guest speaker, she's a friend of mine. She currently resides in China. She returned to Beijing in August this year. Her name is Xixi Zhang. She's the co-founder of AustGo and Shira App, being the most diverse multi-channel cross-border e-commerce platforms. She obtained Bachelor of Economics from Beijing Jiaotong University and then Juris Master from China University of Political Science and Law. She had 10 years of experience in China Customs, being a General Secretary of the Beijing Customs, and was in charge of the International Trade Division and its legal affairs. After immigrating to Australia in 2015, she co-founded AustGo and served as its CEO. She is familiar with the Sino-Australia cross-border regulatory policies and practices, established channels with major e-commerce platforms in Asia, gained in-depth insights into the Asian e-commerce markets, and quickly adjusted and implemented various strategies in the e-commerce marketing, sales, and trade space. She joins us from Beijing on Zoom.
Can you hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning.
No, we can't hear you, Xixi.
Okay, thanks, Belle, to introduce me. And I think David's sharing, it's very interesting and practical. So any question? Any problem? Can I continue?
Xixi, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me? How about now?
That's better then.
Is it okay?
Yeah, good.
Okay. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Thanks, Bill, to introduce me. And I think David's sharing, it's very interesting and practical. But the difference between David and me is that when David returned to Australia, I returned to China from Australia because I saw the new opportunities for new brands, which has ever been only seen at the starting of Tmall International and the Taobao live streaming. So later on, I will introduce more about the practice for my company in Chinese TikTok, Douyin. So let me introduce our company, AustGo, first. So AustGo established in 2000, next page, please. Can I? Okay. AustGo established in 2005 and headquartered in Sydney. We have the branches in Canberra, Auckland, Hong Kong, and Wuhan. And now we distribute about 500 brands and 20,000 products and more than 100,000 schools. And we have the 9+ self-owned inventory warehouses in Australia, New Zealand, China, and China bounded zone. China bounded zone. And we have more than 30 cooperating inventory warehouses in France, United States, Canada, Japan, Korea, and etc. And also we have more than 10 million of standing stock, and we have 3,000+ daily shipments. And we also have more than 20 key account hypermarket flagship store on the Chinese main e-commerce platforms to connect more than 100 million Chinese customers. And we have around 20,000 loyal Daigou members as they can do the S2B to C to spread across the Australian and the New Zealand. And we also to do the direct supplier to more than 100 small or medium e-commerce platforms and group buys. So this is about AustGo. This is the brands we distribute. Next page, please. Yeah, today I want to do more introduction about the brand strategy and especially the marketing and the promotion, how we have done in Douyin. So when we have a new brand, the brand strategy just like this, and we will do the brand analysis and to do the Chinese market analysis, and then we will do the brand positioning, brand strategy, brand carry out, and also we will do in-depth strategic cooperation with the brand owner. So next page. This is the brand service we can do. And I think the basic one should be the supply chain service. And then we'll help the brand to do the marketing. For example, we'll do the brand incubation marketing plan and content production, content spread, and also Daigou WeChat channel marketing, KOL, KOS, and the KOC, seeding and the living spreading, live streaming, and the purchase and the promotion. And we can do one-stop distribution. In AustGo, Share, these two are our own operated, and the China top platforms. And also we will do the B2B to the local and bonded warehouse wholesale, and also our chain stores, and to sell with the KOLs, WeChat and the Daigou and the group buy. And also we can do the store operation service on the following platforms. Okay, I want to, yeah, come back, please. Especially the special resources and the channels I want to do more introduce. You can see we got the following resources, and I think it's pretty good channels for the new brand to China. For example, the Douyin cross-border flagship store of AustGo, and the Douyin KOL guaranteeing the ROI live streaming and seeding, and also the Tmall International Supermarket and the Tmall International Direct Sale, as well as the JD International Direct Sale. So this is our special channels in China, and also the seeding and the live streaming by the KOLs with the commission only, and also the Daigou and WeChat channel distribution, because we have around 20,000 Daigou members in AustGo, and also the one-click entry channel in all e-commerce platforms of AustGo. Okay, thank you. Next page. Yeah, the following two pages come from the business development document of Douyin. When Douyin opened the cross-border flagship store application, they have the business development document, and we can see this several figures. I think the very impressive the one. It's the daily person use the duration. It's around 100 minutes every day. The people stayed on TikTok. And next page. And also DAU in Douyin, it's around 600 million people in 2020. Yeah. And there is around 15 billion people in Douyin relative applications every day. Yeah, next page. This is about our shop, our store on Douyin. So we are the first TikTok Douyin cross-border flagship store in Australia. And also we are the KA account, key account store in Douyin. And also we have established contact with nearly 50 mainstream MCN for distribution. So, and we also has a free target, sales target on Douyin with Douyin official. How to say that? Sorry, I recognize my language again. We have a free sales contract with Douyin about around this number RMB annually. Yes. Yeah, and the following are several cases we have done on Douyin. And also I have noticed that just now David has told us many practical strategies when we do the promotion in Douyin. And also I will share with you about some experience. And this is the first case. Actually, we have some brands entered our Douyin store, and also we did lots of promotion on Douyin. For example, this is the ROI, the highest ROI of the brand we have done now. It's 1 to 7. So that means when we go input 10,000 and we can get the 100,000 GMV. Yes. And also these several pictures are our brands. Can you see that? Earth Choice, Vimos, and these several celebrities are the top KOLs on Douyin. Okay, next page. And case 2, is Douyin friendly to new brands? My answer is yes. And I saw the new opportunities for the new brands to China because we have seen several new brands already has very large sales quantities on Douyin. For example, let us see the first one, the BioWell. It's a Singapore brand. And actually, I never saw this kind of products or this brand before. But when it came to Douyin, we can see this is the 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth, 第4列怎么说来的? The fourth row, the fourth column, yeah. The fourth column, it's around 3 million RMB on Douyin. So it's quite a large quantity for a new product for a new brand in Douyin. And also the number 10, number 11, all these products, all these brands, it's not famous in China before. And with they have very quickly growth on Douyin recently. Next page, please. Yeah, the case rate is KOL effective to new brands. I mean, that means when a new brand comes to China or come to Douyin, so if we can look up the top KOL to help us to introduce the products, is it effective? Will it have a very large sales quantity? Yes. You can see the several cases on this list. This is the sales list of Wang Xiaoqian. It's a top KOL. She has around 6 million followers in Douyin, and we can see several brands. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth column is the sales quantity, and the fifth column is the sales volume. We can see the numbers and the sales volume. It's quite large. So some of them are also the new products. For example, the Noro Mega. Can you see that? Yeah. So KOL, some KOL, it's very effective to the new brand. So next page, please. Yeah, and this is our actual case data, and you can see the screenshot. It's come from the back system of our store. This person, it's a top celebrity KOL in Douyin. It's have around 5 million followers, and she has sold around. Can you see that? She has sold around 20, I think, 20万, 200,000 RMB with our product. And next page. And this is Wang Xiaoqian to sell our product. It's around 384,000 RMB. Yeah. Next page. And this is another actual case. It's from Bai Bai Ye Ye. The total sales, it's around 737,000 RMB. This is a Iran product. Yeah, our Australian product. All the products come from Australia. Just now I mentioned. Okay, next page. Okay, so this is what we can do for the brands in Douyin. So the Douyin service include to entry the AustGo flagship store and or open the brand flagship store of Douyin, and also can do the shop video promotion with the purchase card. And the third one, it's we can do the Douyin store operation service. And the fourth one, it's we can do the KOL distribution. And the next one, we can do the store or brand field live streaming. This means the blue tagged. That means we do the live streaming in the name of the brand or the store. Yeah. And the next one is the KOL live streaming with the guaranteed sales. Yeah, when we will check, do the research about the brands, about the product. Well, and we have the database, and we will calculate a ROI. If we have the confidence to sell these products, and we can do the KOL live streaming with the guaranteed sales. Yeah, next page, please. Next one, it's the 4 step. Actually, it's the 4 modules, four steps for new brand to come to Douyin, how we do the promotion. The first one, it's I think it's on the right. It's the KOL. So the KOL, top KOL, can help business quickly hit the broken circle with loud volume. And we can do the branding and the sales double win strategy. And the next one, I think it's the alliance of KOLs to help the merchant to enter quickly and expand the flow supply, enlarge business growth. And the next step is the campaign promotion. We will do lots of promotion on Douyin, and we will purchase some traffic, purchase some traffic and the KOLs, the short video to do the campaign promotion. And the last one, I think, is the field live streaming. That means by the help the merchants to enhance the content control and accumulate the crowd access to carry out the stable and the long-term operation. Yeah, next page. And this is the duration. We have 3 steps. Yes, 3 steps of the brand to grow in Douyin, and it will have 1 to 2 months cold start period to get the high exposure on Douyin. And the next stage, it's around 3 to 6 months to high conversion rate, to get the high conversion rate, increase the brand awareness, facilitate the retention conversion. So I think the several brands we bring to Douyin, it's now in this period. We try to find more KOLs in the middle level to set up the stable sales in Douyin. And the next one, it's a maturity period. It's more than 6 months. It will have the high yield. Actually, the brands I introduced just now, just like BioWell, this kind of brand has already jumped to the high yield period quickly, because I think they just come to Douyin around 2 to 3 months, but now there are many middle level KOLs to help them to do the live streaming on Douyin, and they can have a stable sales. Yeah, next page, please. Yeah, this is the 3 level of the KOLs, and also just like I mentioned, we have 3 period when a new brand come to Douyin, how to do the steady growth and the development. So the first level is to do the promoted by the top KOLs, and at this moment, some brands may not have the very high ROI, but with the time goes, and when it comes to the middle part, we will have the stable, relatively stable sales of the daily sales. And when this brands goes to more and more KOLs live streaming, and we will go to the bottom part, the KOLs, and we can expect a very stable and profitable sales. Yes, and this is also another topic. It's how we can avoid the pit on Douyin. Yeah, and also, yes, we have already actually stepped in some pits before, especially in 2018, 2020, these 3 years, we got many experience, not good experience, because at that time, the database, KOL database is not very completed. But at this period, when we do the KOL research, we will have the database, we will have the KOL's database, just like the Wang Xiaoqian's Excel I showed you just now. And we will check if she or he is suitable for our products. And if she or he it's good at to introduce the products. For example, we also met some top KOLs. They can sell around 10 million RMB or maybe more, 100 million RMB per time when they do the live streaming. But the problem is they can only sell the top popular products, but they can't sell the new products, especially just like the health vitamins or some baby and mother products. They can't do that. So when we do the KOL selection, we will check the KOL database. Yeah, and the Xingtu just now, David mentioned it's a good way. And also we use Chanmama. Chanmama, it's another name of the software to check the database of the KOL, and we can expect a good result. Yeah, next page. Yeah, so this is our slogan, to choose the good products and to send it to the family. So thanks a lot. And next page, it's the introduction of me and welcome you to communicate more with me.
Thank you very much, Shishi. There was some great examples there of brands who have been able to really utilize TikTok very well to get some incredibly strong sales happening. So we'll now move to the Q&A part of today. So we've got people in the room and also online. For those online, if you have a question, please feel free to pose those. The mechanism we're using is if you can just put those on the chat function or the Q&A function on Zoom, then I will read them out. We've got an opportunity to speak to some amazing experts on TikTok. Does anybody have any questions? Because while you're thinking of them, I have one I'd like to ask David. You spoke a lot about companies that you worked on behalf of. Do you have any direct business yourself that you do on TikTok?
So I am a consultant to a lot of large corporates to help them build their marketing in-house, which is my core focus. I think in-house is best. But again, AustGo is a great example of someone who does things transparently, because she explained everything that a normal agency probably wouldn't go ahead and tell you. So they're probably one of the few blue chip agencies I would recommend to potentially even go with. I wasn't paid for that. That was just I'm just putting my foot down. This is not a paid promotion. It is an honest feeling. After that presentation, that's a feeling I've got as an influencer anyway, because they're at a much higher, large scale. So yeah, I mean, I don't really advertise for products anymore myself. I don't do that. I like to keep my account for the followers to just, you know, come and get entertained and whatnot. But yeah, we do provide a lot of service to other influencers that would like to promote. So when brands come to me, like the other day, we had a few come to me and we just shut them off somewhere else because we don't want to do it anymore. We're too busy with other stuff. But yeah. Like today we saw this young little girl here who wants to be a big blogger. I support these type of Aussies. They're the ones I want to see succeed, and I want an army of them to just build. You know, they're the next generation. They're the ones I want to build to.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think, you know, the key is building up that followership in the first place. And once you crack that, you're pretty much there. Did you want to talk a little bit about your story in terms of how you built up your followership in China?
Sure. So it happened because so when I first went to Inner Mongolia, I was supposed to be there for 3 months. I was working for Dell, Australia. I was a sales manager for Sydney, corporate accounts, government, all that kind of boring reply to tenders kind of stuff. I hated my life. And I just said, I'm going to head myself out to Asia. And I wanted to spend 3 months learning Mandarin. Actually, my purpose was to learn Chinese. Landed in China. They flipped me to another city. They said, sorry, we're not sending you to like Dombay. They sent me to Neimungu. And I was like, okay, where the hell's that? I was like, cool, it's an adventure. Even though my return ticket from all the way there, I ended up over there. And yeah, I saw there's a massive gap in the education business, and I opened my first schools, and we had another 30 schools about 2 years later. And I built an online profile to lower the cost of students because advertising is bloody expensive. So I made videos to try to recruit students for free. I thought, yeah, why not? And I was the first Western face to be on Weibo. And someone knocked on my door. His name is Dashan. He's like, can you help me on Weibo? I was like, yeah, come on, I'll help you out. I didn't know who the hell he was. And it was like this old dude from Canada. And then he flew all the way to Inner Mongolia, and I started training him how to make videos on Weibo. Yeah. And then he got me on TV shows and kind of like, it was fun. And I didn't know who he was. And that's how it started. Like, and then I got so big that students knew me from all over China. I had like a few schools, like let's say 10 schools in Inner Mongolia. They flew from Guangzhou because of my fees were much lower than Guangzhou. It's like 1,000 RMB an hour, where we would be like 200 or something. I was dumb. I didn't know how much to charge. But anyway, yeah, the growth was funny. It was organic. Then we started monetizing it with, with the influencer side, and then we started recruiting influencers. And it's a big nutshell, but that's how it started. Yeah, it's like a controlled accident. Yeah, that makes sense.
A very good accident.
Yeah, it was fun.
So one of the statistics I was amazed to see in Shishi's presentation was that Chinese people will spend 100 minutes a day on TikTok, which is it's extraordinary.
Don't forget, that's just the average. That's the average. There's people that spend hours more a day,
which is extraordinary. So.
Yeah.
So what are people doing on TikTok when they're spending that amount of time?
Well, it's funny because it depends on the demographic, right? I mean, for me, when I was on social media, it was about looking for other influencers. I would be on there all day. But then for the average user, it's just videos. It's fun. It's just fun. Like, you just get so like, there's something called the time dilation effect, where once your head is stuck in something, you look up and it's like 3 a.m.
Right.
That's TikTok does that. And they did it with the acquisition of Musical.ly, where they bought Musical.ly and a conversion of all these other apps. And then they created TikTok, which was Douyin, but then it just had this perfect mix of using pop culture music with funny videos, with voiceovers. A combination of that equals to brainwash, which is why you can get them to get on for about an hour and a half a day. Yeah, like if I go to my TikTok now, my Douyin, for example, the average person would watch my account would be over an hour, like
wow.
Each person, because
wow.
I've got hundreds of videos.
Wow.
My wife doesn't look at me that much. No, I wish. That wasn't a joke.
I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, what did China?
I know, I wish my wife looked at me more too. I know that joke's finished.
Another statistic which really surprised me was from Shishu's side, and you said you had 20,000 professional Daigou. I was just quite interested, Shishi, in how you were able to get that number of Daigou in your network. Are you able to speak a little bit about that? I think we're having the sound issue again.
No.
Oh,
I mute myself.
Okay.
Yeah, because actually I can present this page for you. 1 second. So how it happened? Because here, actually we have our own operated AustGo.com. And when we established AustGo.com in 2015, we began to do the marketing in Australia and New Zealand. And at that moment, when Daigo's business is pretty good, so we do the organize products. How to explain that? Okay, when Daigo wants to sell something to their customers, they need to do the purchase, customers office service, and collecting money, and also the post sales, all the works that the Daigo has to do. And when we established AustGo.com in 2015, we want to solve the problem for Daigo, to help them to buy the products, to purchase the stock in our warehouse, in our Sydney warehouse. And we also help them to do the direct mail from Sydney to their customers. So this is what we have done in past 6 years. So we have accumulated lots of professional Daigos, including some WeChat merchants. And these people can use our AustGo.com as a tool, as well. They can use our AustGo.com as their warehouse, and they can do their business more easily. So that's why we accumulate so many Daigo members. And also we have several shops, around 20 flagship stores on the following platforms. Yeah. So this is what we do at present.
Thank you. So do we have some questions from either the floor or online?
Yeah, I was just wondering for David, maybe you could share with us some ideas around how people can actually get involved in TikTok. Because for me, TikTok's about entertainment.
Yeah.
You know, I see the kids watching a lot, and so they in terms of like a brand, care, or like a particular brand. How would they be using TikTok for their own business?
So Douyin and TikTok function differently. TikTok is kind of fall behind. It's following Douyin's suit. So Douyin now functions more than just social, like it's not just social, it's e-commerce.
Yeah.
So when you go to your favorite influencer's account, on the front page, you can actually click on the store link, and you can click on short videos, micro videos, and you can click on like literally, I mean, they even have their own little groups inside that. So if you compare Douyin to the Western TikTok, it's completely different. TikTok is like following whatever Douyin does, because it's, you know, they copy it somehow. They say they don't, but they are. And eventually soon what's going to happen is you're going to start being able to do that now on TikTok. But at the moment, if a brand or product or whatever wants to sell on Douyin, it's actually much easier than it is, because you could even start with a single influencer and just build an affiliate program. There are ways you could have access to Xingtu and other platforms where you could pay only by commission, but also pay the platform a fee where they find you commission-only influencers. And I've done that. Like I had my own brand in China, house cleaning products, which was pretty cool because my wife made me do it. She said I don't clean enough. So I created, and I did. It didn't last long because it was too expensive to deal with distributors and whatnot. But long story short, I sold really well just by dealing with affiliates. It's the best way to start. So step by step.
Does Douyin have like refund policies as well?
Cool.
The product that-
Yes, they do.
So how do you prevent, scam of like buying and then refunding agency?
You can't.
Yeah.
I could say you can, but you really can't. Because there's always, where there's a will, there's a way, right? If there is something there to kind of stop it, but that happens in the West as well. That happens more on Amazon than in China. So I wouldn't be so afraid to do that in China, because that's, people there are afraid more. Here, they're not, no one cares. people in China care. Like I would say that would happen less there than it would here. I wouldn't really be worried too much about that because it's like walking on the street and saying, "Oh no, a media is going to hit me in the head." It's like it's going to happen, but it might not. You know? Sorry, that example was a bit weird.
It's not a big fee. It's all B2C.
There is a B2B. You could sell to influencers and they could sell to their followers. There's that model, but it doesn't really work well. B2C is probably the best way to go. Now, B2B is like working with an agency or a distributor having a deal with a distributor, and then they go out and sell to the Chinese market. And how they do it is you have no transparency over that. Like you literally have no data, none, like none. I worked with a company called Lava. Gavin Gurr is a good mate of mine. And he always tells me, like, even if they can go direct to consumer, the distributor will block all pics of data about their consumers. So there's no way you're going to know who they are, where they live, their contact information. Chinese privacy law is really tough, which is good. I like that. But it's also hard for a brand to want to go direct to consumer. So you're going to always have to, if you want to go to a mass scale, a scalability, you're going to have to work through a distributor and you have to give up on who your consumers are. So B2B is like that. But B2C is probably, I would suggest, the best way. But that's what I was saying about having a team, building it internally. It's a bit costly, but it's scalable. Like I'm also an investor and I invest in things that are scalable. If there's no scalability in a project, I wouldn't put a cent in. I think every other investor, Mike was an investor as well back then. Yeah, so he would agree. Yeah. So yeah. Sorry for thinking. Every time my wife comes into my mind, I start speaking. She's actually waiting for me at history. But anyway, yeah.
I see. We better not keep you too long then. We've probably got time for one more question if there is one. Was that a question yet?
Yes. As a user of the Douyin app, you suppose the TikTok and Australian, but I have found myself easily entertainment, like spend over an hour on entertainment, but to not spend 1 hour on like production promotion. Like if I saw someone someone selling something which I'm not interested in, I can easily pick it up. So how can you retain the customer like me, like keep watching the product?
You know, it's always cheaper to get a return customer. You're going to cost 10 times more to get as a client. So that you're not going to be in their books. You're going to be the one, if you come in, then good luck. You know what I mean? What they want is depends on the product, but let's just use the female demographic as an example. Like, you know, my wife, Sammy, she loves purchasing stuff on Douyin because during 11/11, everything is like cheap, right? So she'll buy like wine and makeup and whatever. She'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going crazy. Yeah, and I get the bill, right? But at the end of the day, that's the client they want. So they're always going to target the easier, low-hanging fruit. You're going to be the client that they're not going to go after. You will come in eventually when someone you know tells someone they know that they bought something. You're never going to be the priority for a brand. Now, that's based on the algorithm as well. So what you see as an ad is based on what you watch. So if you're not buying the stuff that you like, then that means you have another source of, you know, some other way to purchase it. But they will keep trying. I promise you, eventually you will buy something. Because that's how it works on these algorithms. I said no to Instagram all the time, but I bought a toy from them and it broke. Like the thing is, like, I am the person like you, I'm just like you. I said, I will never do it. But then, hey, here's 20 bucks. And I bought it. Yeah. So you're not the primary focus, but eventually you'll come to play. Because you still have it in your phone, right? Yeah. It's even listening to what you're saying now, man. It's going to try again today. Yeah.
Actually, I got another question. Yeah. I'm not sure if you've heard about the Red Book.
Yeah, of course, Xiaohongshu. I have Xiaohongshu.
Yeah, compared to the Red Book and the TikTok, what do you think?
It's different demographic, man. So Xiaohongshu, Red Book, Little Red Book is more for the higher. So in China, the largest demographic on Xiaohongshu is Shanghai, like South China. Shanghainese would love freaking Little Red Book, man. Like they're all over it, right? But also it's big in Australia for the Chinese population here. I love Xiaohongshu, man. it's like my favorite place to be, like reading people's comments, like real estate. Oh, damn, Cameron, it's like 3 million now. What? You know, like it's so popular and it's not as controlled as Weibo. So it's still kind of like in that gray area. And it's more for luxury products. It's more for high end. I think the purchasing demographic on Xiaohongshu is very different. It's not as mass scale. It's more sniper, where they target a very wealthy individual rather than like, you know, you and me, like two dudes playing Douyin. You know, we're not the market on Little Red Book. So yeah, we're not.
Okay. All right. Well, David, we better let you go if your wife is out in Sydney.
Sorry, she's shopping. She's fine. Don't worry about
it. On your card or on hers?
She has
her own. Okay. Well, we've come to time anyway, so we better wrap things up. I'd just like to finish up by thanking you so much for your time and sharing your really invaluable experience. You're sort of really one of a kind in terms of what you've been able to do.
You want to tell my wife this? Please let her know.
That's right. No, but really, really value the insights that you brought today. And thank you very much to Shishi as well. And congratulations on all the great success that you've had through AustGo. And in the course of your presentation, you've also provided some really valuable insights. Thank you to Eakin McCaffrey Cox for hosting us today, and for Bello as well for helping to organise things. I hope everybody has found today interesting. I'm sure you'll be walking away with some really valuable insights. So thank you for coming along. Thank you for your support through the year as well. It's been a crazy year, hasn't it? Crazy 2 years, but we look like we're coming to the end of it. Look, let me take this opportunity to wish you a great Christmas and New Year, and looking forward to having more to do with you in 2022 as we hopefully emerge in more of a sort of a normal or COVID normal year next year. So thank you, everybody, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow's Freedom Day. No mask. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Is that what they're calling it?
Yes. No mask.
I think this is the max we can host, literally 15 people, but tomorrow can double it.
I see. Okay.
Cool.
Oh well, hopefully.
So my funeral today would be different to the one. Okay, I'll put the invite. Yeah, I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay. What's this going?
Is it fair to say much more suitable to sell tangible goods?
Sorry.
Through the
Yes.
service?
Yeah.